welcome to another edition of Let's Make. Today we're going to be making a 55-gallon barrel garbage can. Let's begin. I've already searched the interwebs for dimensions, and they seem to be all over the place for general height, width, depending on if it's plastic or metal. So we're just going to do 1 meter by 0.3. Instead of 18, which is usually default, I'm going to drop it down to 12, because normally these type of cans are not a prop that's right in your face. It's usually off the track, a side prop. If it is something that's definitely right on the edge of pit road or on the track, then yeah, I'd probably go up to 18. But for this example, personally, I'd stick to 12, because we're going to add a few lines in here. We're going to do 2. All right. And then look, ooh, this is back. I figured out my issue. All right, on most of these 55-gallon drums, there's some kind of lip, a little extruded part out on each side. So what we're going to do is we're going to create that lip. Let's ring, and let's go to connect. We'll do 2. Close enough. And then we're going to grab each one, hold control, loop it. And we're just going to move that out just a little. A little bit more. This is all purely by eye. Okay, now you can see we have all the fun colors. So what we'll do is we can solve that real quick. With changing the smoothing group. So now the verts aren't pulling on each other, which gives us the odd shading. So now I'm going to inset this. We'll do at least 0.03. And then we'll extrude down. Minus 0.8. Okay, now the catch here is, depending on the sim of your choice, this might need to be a little thicker, because the polys could fight from the inside to the out. So you just might need to give a little bit more of a gap. 0.3 should work, but if you do get some flickering, you'll just need to thicken this wall up a little bit. Now, some cans will have kind of the beveled edge or a lip around the edges, and I'm not going to do that, since it's going to be more of a simple prop, kind of a low poly prop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these, loop it, I'm going to hold control and remove. That way the verts are gone. And we would lose some polys as well. Now, if you want to add the extra edge, at least on the top. No one's really going to see the bottom. You could have just grabbed the edge, or poly select that top edge and extrude out a little bit, or even beveled it out a little bit. But for this example, and to be honest, most of these cans, you could probably do it on the texture, and no one will know the difference. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you 2 different ways to map this. So let's clone it. Let's convert that to poly. It's nice that I can use that again. One, it's going to be very simple. See, I already have my textures. This material is a tieable texture. It's a simple gray texture. Let's drop it on there. Go down to not unwrap, but UVW map. And then let's just do box. What? 5 by 5 by 5. I mean, you could do cylinder. Do 5 by 5 by 5. And you can see the lines are cap. But to be honest, I'm geared towards box. This doesn't always work on round objects, but most of the time you'll get a nice mapping with the box, because it also get the top and the bottom. Alright, I'm going to collapse it, convert to editable poly. You can see here, convert to editable poly, or right click, collapse to. I just prefer convert to editable poly. And then that's done. You might need to just make sure that these the smoothing groups on the top. Let's see, what do we got here? All right, it doesn't have one. Ring, hold control. Now, if this is, say, R factor 1, you would need to detach these. Smoothing groups don't work. So you would go here, detach to element. Since this is kind of geared towards R factor 2 now, and even newer sims where smoothing groups actually work, all you have to do is click 9. Let's ring it. I'm not even going to check if it's not, because if that edge wasn't, most of the others aren't going to be. Let's see. You know what? Let's do this. That's 9. Okay, so I got to redo that. What you can also do is select, okay, I was checking to see what else I had is 9. Go down here, select by smoothing group, select 9. So, okay, so that top edge is 9, so I need to change that. Ring it, hold control, select poly, and then we'll just put it on 17. And in all technicality, that one's done. Very simple. If this is something, just a small prop, you could probably get away with not even putting in the beveled edge. Just put it on the texture. Now on this one, I'm going to do the 55-gallon unwrap UVW. So that is 6. Now this would be for if you want the checkered with the garbage bag or any design. Okay, you could map this all in one go. Some props are easier than others, but for this one I'm going to try to do it separate. So let's grow, select the bottom, we'll just detach it. We'll fix that later. So let's go up to modifiers, UVW, or UV coordinates, unwrap UVW. Let's go to checkered can. Let's see what this does. Nope, that's horrible. We'll just leave it just like this. Could have put a little line on a shadow on the edge of the white, but other than that, that looks alright. So, let's convert to a poly. Now we can do the inside. Yeah. Unwrap. Just going to flatten it first so we can separate So these polys, it's one solid poly. So you can easily select that. But for this one, sometimes you'll get a prop with hundreds of polys. And when you flatten it, there'll be stuff everywhere. And then you'll have this mess of an edge. Yeah, it's easy to select with this setup. But sometimes there's a lot of verts or a lot of polys or a lot of noise around it. So one easy way to just select this in one click, go to select element and select it. So now we have just the inside. Let's see if this works. There we go. We unfolded it. That worked a lot better. Let's go to the garbage can. Let's see, figure out what up and down is. Doesn't really help. Oh, hold on. Now we have to unselect that if you want to individually select. Okay, looks like that's the bottom. And we'll just select the poly. We'll just plop that in there. Let's convert to a poly. Let's take a quick peek. I think I'm pleased with that. Yeah, I mean, for a sim racing game. Now, if this was for a non-sim racing game and you were running around and looking at these, I would definitely take a little more effort into making sure this looks like it's a nice solid bag, to where I would probably map that black line up to the edge here. But for sim racing, where you don't get out of the car and you're always on the move, this is just a blip in the screen. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but this will at least get you to the point where, say, you wanted to put your logos on the garbage can, your team logo, the track logo. This version is a lot easier. But if you just need something simple to toss in there, that's what this guy's for. So now let's render these out, see what they look like. Actually, before we do that, let's attach these back and weld it back up. So when we go to weld it, when you first click it, it's going to weld everything because it's got the 0.1 threshold. So let's just go to 0.001. Let's type the right thing in. And there we go. Now we'll also need to just make sure the smoothing groups, yep, same issue as before. I should have set that first before cloning it. That's alright. So let's ring it, control poly, go down to 17, go back to edge, ring it, control poly, 18, 9, oh, it's already 1, but that's alright. And we'll make it at 19 as well. More, okay, good. So now that's set. It looks pretty good. Let's render this out and see what it looks like. Here are two very simple 55-gallon drums. This color can change just as easy as opening up the material in Photoshop or swapping it out with just a different color. If you want the garbage bag over the lip, all you have to do is edit the material in Photoshop. You know, stretch that layer over the top so it has a lip. Take a picture of a garbage bag yourself and put it on there. Whatever you have to do. But here are two cans ready to go in game. Appreciate the video. Smack that like button down below. Questions or comments, put them also down below. And I will do my best to get back to you. And as always, thanks for watching.